Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Eric M. Doroshow. And we're going to be discussing Eric's amazing book, Dad's Little Book of Life Lessons. Practical ideas for moving your life forward. It's Amazon, it's a whole host of other places, but if you want to gather everything he has in store, and trust me, man, Eric has a lot in store. Check out his personal site. That's imagesinspired.net. There, you're going to gather more information on him, more information on the book, and when you go through his website, you're also going to see that that initial consultation is free. So take advantage of it, people. I'm telling you, there is so much wisdom here, and Eric is the person to share it all. Take advantage of the coaching right after you take advantage of this magnificent book one more time. That's imagesinspired.net. And I quickly want to take this opportunity and point out the fact that he was brought to us by one of the best publishing firms in the business, City of Books. So for my writers out there who have gone through their process, listen, man, you gotta head on over to cityofbooks.com. If you need help moving that masterpiece you developed, contact them because they're one of the best movers in the business. Again, that's cityofbooks.com. Head on over there and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And listen, it is a true pleasure to have Eric here on the line. People, what if the wisest life advice wasn't found in, self-help books or gurus or even grand philosophies, but in the hard-earned lessons of a father writing to his daughter? In this book, Dad's Little Book of Life Lessons, Eric talks about the transformative personal setbacks, the financial pitfalls, and even utilizing courtroom revelations into a roadmap for resilience and success. You see, he's pulling from his experience and the wisdom that has been derived. And listen, all my parents out there, especially mine, you're going to be able to take a lot of pride in this, right? Because I understand now as a new father myself, very early on in this journey, how you can say things a million times to your kids and it'll go in one ear, out the other. I know, mom and dad, you're hearing this and you're like, he's got it. He's finally understanding. Yeah, I get it, okay? We're going to learn from his wisdom that he started off by bringing this to his young daughter, but we're all going to be able to take advantage of it. Understand that we're going to uncover the stories behind the lessons, the mistakes that shaped them, and why his daughter's simple request became a gift to readers everywhere. This is something special. Sit back, strap in, man. Here we go. Eric, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Eric. We're looking forward to this, man. You have a lot of wisdom to share, and we're all ears, man. We're waiting to receive them. Before we go into this magnificent book, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background.
Yes, I'm a semi-retired lawyer in Delaware. I've practiced over 45 years. I've handled cases for all kinds of folks. A number of bankruptcies for people. I have a chapter we can talk about later on how to stay out of financial trouble. And in my recent years, I've become a master certified life coach, and I provide life coach services to folks that are looking to move their life forward. Some of the lessons that we talk about in this book are actually things that we talk about in my coaching. I actually use the coaching. In my coaching, I use the book as an example of things that can be done.
All right, well, listen, without further ado, let's jump into the book, Dad's Little Book of Life Lessons. Tell us more about it.
Well, when we're born, we receive really no instruction manual or tools how we should live our lives. And what I've tried to do is draw on my lifetime of experiences as a lawyer a real estate investor, an executive master certified life coach. And I've tried to give folks some practical ideas in a easy to read format to give them some ideas on how they can move their life forward. Now, the idea behind the book originated from my daughter, my youngest daughter. She asked me to write a book about the lessons that I had learned in my life and what lessons I could pass on to her friends, and to others. The book begins with my experience in the first year of practice. My law office burned down, believe it or not. And I was only in practice for about a month or so. And recovering the lessons that I learned there, how I drew on experience to try to move myself forward in the situation that I was confronted with, and I did recover. Then I talked about my experience as a bankruptcy lawyer, and I illustrate how consumers have gotten into financial trouble. And it's called Top Ways to Go Broke, with kind of a tongue-in-cheek, but it really follows the ways that people have gotten into financial trouble and how to get out of them. I talk about some philosophy, too. I talk about equanimity, which is keeping your cool and how that might work in your life. I talk about patience, keeping your patience as you pursue things in life. And patience is a virtue, and I firmly believe that. There's a book called The Millionaire Next Door, and I read that book, and I talk a lot about the millionaire next door, the folks that have accumulated great wealth by living below their means, and how you may not believe that they are millionaires. They are, and they're living very, very comfortably. And then we've talked about the top ways to go broke, which is the other side to that coin. Mm-hmm. I've looked at ways that folks can be more efficient and effective as they move through their lives. What are the tools that can be used there? I've interviewed hundreds of applicants in my lifetime, and I have a whole chapter on finding your dream job as an employer. What are the things that I'm looking for that I assume most employers are looking for, and things not to do? There is this chapter on people who thrive in life. I talk about Warren Buffett as one of them, but others. What do these people do? What do the most successful people do to make them a cut above? And that basically is my idea, is try to give folks at least some benefit of what I've learned, some of it from mistakes, some of it from mistakes others have made, and hopefully give them some lessons that are going to be some practical ideas for them in moving their life forward.
You know, Eric, thank you very much for articulating that, man. And the next place that I wanted to go, you've covered inspiration, and I want to go a little bit more in depth with not inspiration so much, but the writing process, right? And you articulated how some of these lessons you had to learn the hard way yourself. And I think so often through life, that's kind of how things are gained, right? Somebody could tell you something a million times, but until you go through that process, you don't fully understand or learn from it, right? And of course, we always wish that isn't the case, but sometimes it is, right? Well, talk to us in the process of writing this book, because of course the education doesn't cease. While you were writing this, did this process change any of your own perspectives on the lessons that you thought you had fully figured out prior to it?
Well, it did, because as I went into development and I wrote the book and I ran it past some folks in my office and my daughter and some others, they pointed out some things that should be stressed, and some things that maybe should be stressed as much. Like, for instance, the millionaire next door concept. Folks are looking to, find financial freedom, not be hassled by debt, not be in the lawyer's office when there's a foreclosure going on and they are in danger of losing their house and their kids are in danger of losing their house and their friends. Try to avoid that entire stress. What are the things that someone can do, even with modest income, to help move them forward financially? And this was one of the things that they asked me to stress a little bit more, and I did. I put a couple of additional things in there about that. I also felt gratitude was important, and I stressed that too. Having in today's tough times, it's hard as we're all focused on the negativity to be grateful for the things that really are working in our lives.
Yeah.
And there's something called gratitude training. If you spend a couple of moments, and I talk about this in the book, each morning and talk about 5 different things you're grateful for, you'd be amazed how beneficial that is as you go through your day. And I talk about that as one way to move your life forward too. So it's really a dual way. It's financially and emotionally moving your life forward. There's 2 parts to it.
People, again, it's Amazon. It's his personal website, imagesinspired.net. Head on over there, purchase copies. But remember, this book, Dad's Little Book of Life Lessons, is just a precipice. There is a journey ahead that you're going to embark upon. This is a great start to it. But also look into the coaching that he has available. And remember, that initial consultation is free. And you're going to want to take advantage of it, man, because I'm telling you, it's going to help revitalize and re-engage you in so many things that you most likely or potentially have been overlooking. So check it out, imagesinspired.net. Head on over there today. A follow-up question, Eric, I want to go into, and you've mentioned it briefly in passing, your background as a bankruptcy attorney. You've seen a lot. You've seen how people fall into financial ruin. Well, I'm curious to know, A, from your experience, but also as a cautionary tale to those listening in, what's the most surprising, common mistake that people make before going broke?
I can think of the top one, which is thinking that the good times will last forever. Thinking that I'm going to continue to get jobs and I'm going to continue to get raises. Thinking that the home value and the stock market is going to continue to go up. We've all seen that that's not correct in recent days.
Yeah.
And just planning for what the good times have been rather than planning for tougher times. And the folks that I've seen, and I've seen some, and I've handled hundreds of bankruptcy cases for folks and all over the area. And my goodness, it's heartbreaking when folks come in, they're in a mortgage they can't afford because they thought they could refinance it at a lower rate, and they thought that the value would go up to cover it, and now they can't make the mortgage payments, and the bank is in foreclosure. We're trying to stop the foreclosure through something called Chapter 13 wage earner plans, which is very successful, but you got to make the plan payment and pay your mortgage and something else. And the risks that are involved, I've seen looked at in the eyes of my clients and their kids who are facing eviction. And it's heartbreaking. And it started with these folks overpaying, what their mortgage would be, assuming they could continue to pay for it because interest rates would go down, they could refinance and value would go up. So thinking that the good times will last forever, that's a big one. Think contra. Think the good times will not last forever. What am I going to do? Going to make the mortgage payment if my wife loses her job? Or what if my overtime gets cut? And can I make the mortgage payment? Can we survive? Do we have enough money aside to cover us during the lean times? That would be my first idea, Benji, to do that.
Eric, that's some great advice. And following along this path now, and you've been offering so many great pieces of wisdom, but I want to now go into some of your coaching that you offer, and specifically coaching that we don't find in the book, wisdom that we're not going to be able to pick up through Dad's Little Book of Life Lessons. What's one piece of coaching advice that you offer through your coaching that isn't in the book, although it probably should be?
I focus a lot with young professionals, 30, 40, 50-year-olds, and some 20-year-olds too, in a work-life balance situation. We are so stressed these days, running from thing to thing. Some of it is good, with our kids who might be in t-ball and then somebody else playing soccer, but it's still stress, and we're running. How can we do the things we want to do, keep doing what we need to do in the office or with our boss to create a fulfilling life? And I think it starts with efficiency. So I spent a lot of time, I talk about it in the book a little bit, but I spent a lot of time with folks going through, how do you spend your day? What are you doing? There's a book that I really believe is great. It's an oldie but goodie. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We really delve into that. And the idea is, how are you spending your day? Are you spending your stuff in meaningless meetings? Is this stuff that you have to do? Can somebody else do it? Does it have to be done now? Can it be done later? So that's, and I've had some success with my clients. Folks are able to enjoy their kids more rather than stay on their cell phones or stay on their emails while they should be watching their kids, baseball games. That's one of the goals, is to have a more efficient way of proceeding forward in their life.
Utilizing your personal reflection, looking back on your life, what is one lesson you wish you had learned sooner?
Yeah, I wish I had learned the value of investing for retirement sooner. I write about it in the book, and I have a whole section on 401ks. But I didn't come to that realization till I was in my 30s. And I should have done it much, much sooner, because I talk about the seventh wonder of the world, eighth wonder of the world, the value of compounding, putting money aside, leaving it alone, letting it earn interest. Don't look at the stock market. Let it sit there. And like Rip Van Winkle waking up later, or Sleeping Beauty waking up and seeing something years later that you haven't looked at, it's amazing how it will expand. And if you leave it alone, provide for a really nice retirement. Folks that are working now aren't thinking about that. But believe me, 20 years from now, they will be.
Yeah.
And the sooner you start with a 401k or an IRA, the better off you're going to be.
Great piece of advice, and what a wonderful way to close out. People, I'm going to say it for you again, just to solidify it. You got to head on over to Amazon. Check out his personal website, imagesinspired.net. And trust me when I tell you, Amazon is great. Any research you're going to be able to do online and find is great. You can do no better than his personal site. Imagesinspired.net is filled with everything you need to know. Information on him, on his book, purchasing pages through it. But remember, the coaching that's available is really going to help take you to another level. You got to check it out. Take advantage of it. This is something truly remarkable. Eric, trust me when I tell you, man, your book isn't just a collection of lessons. It's legacy in ink. You're churning your personal trials into timeless guidance. People, for anyone out there listening in, if you're seeking wisdom that's been tested by fire, both literally and figuratively, Dad's little book of life lessons is a compass for moving forward with clarity and courage. Head on over there, pick up your copies, and understand why I say that. I promise you, it's not going to take you long to realize how valuable this book is. You know where to go. Eric, this has been a true pleasure, man. Thank you for sharing not just your story, but for offering a roadmap to resilience that will echo far beyond the pages in your book. Man, this has been a true pleasure. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you.